Hello, and welcome back to It's Whatever, right? I'm your host, Jen, and I apologize for kind of being MIA for the last couple of months. Um, when I started this podcast over a year ago, I was doing a podcast every week, and then it turned into every other week. And in the past 3 months, it kind of went down to once a month. Why? I have no idea. Um, for the going every 2 weeks, it was kind of a little easier with my work schedule and whatnot. But in the last 3 months, if you have been listening to previous podcasts that I have uploaded in April and March, I have started an OnlyFans page. Um, I got a new puppy and I officially live on my own by myself because the person that I was seeing for 7 years, we were kind of on and off for the last previous 2 years. Eventually now he's fully, completely out of my apartment, which actually kind of feels nice. Um, I'm kind of liking the fact that I live by myself. I always hated it when he did go out with his friends and spent the night away. I hated being home alone. I still kind of hate being at home alone. The first time that he moved out 2 years ago, the 4 months, it sucked. But I replaced it with oh my god, if I can fucking speak, meaningless sex with boys. Um, where I practically was seeing a couple of people, and they would stay here periodically, throughout the time I was seeing them, and then he moved back in. Um, but this time around, it's been like 3 months now. But I am kind of distracted with the fact that I do have a puppy. So I think that kind of takes away from the part of being hating uh, living alone, because now I have two dogs. Um, Milo, a senior dog. He's 12. He'll be 12 in July, and I don't know if you can hear the whining in the background. That's Bellatrix. She's the new puppy I got. She is 21 and a half weeks. Yeah, 21 and a half weeks old. And she's in the room with me, laying on my bed. She's kind of cute. We ended up going down to, there's like this little beach strip kind of thing, that kind of goes from like Stony Creek here in Ontario. It goes from Stony Creek through Hamilton through Burlington. And we kind of went for a little hike. We didn't really make it too far because she's still so little. Like I said, she's only like 5 months old, so we could only go like so much such a distance. As she's getting bigger and used to walking for a bit longer. I'm training her to be my new hiking buddy because unfortunately, Mr. Moose is unable to come for hikes with me anymore. It's a little too hard on his body to go for a hike. Um, so now we have a new training puppy to come for hikes with me. But with that said, I think the last couple of podcasts I had mentioned that between getting a new puppy, him leaving, getting an OnlyFans page. OnlyFans, it's okay. It's kind of frustrating because getting the payout is a little frustrating. Kind of a pain in the ass, but I mean, I still have kind of this entire podcast is pretty much being discouraged. This podcast is pretty much feeling when you feel discouraged and feeling unwanted in a way. It's like when I first got OnlyFans, it was kind of like a joke. Like you make it and nothing actually comes out of it. I have like 4 fans. 3 of them have their rebills on, one don't, one doesn't. But I mean, for a little bit they were, what's the word? Interacting with my page and buying content in the DMs, but now they're not really buying anything or interacting with any of the content on the page, which is kind of discouraging, and it kind of sucks, because like I watch YouTube videos to see what I can do to help kind of promote. I basically just add the tagline, and there's just like a thing called Linktree. So I made a Linktree to add all of my social medias and OnlyFans, and added to all of my channels, and add tags, and to on Twitter. Do promotions and stuff. So, and I feel like, my God, I don't feel like I'm going anywhere, but I know that people do become successful off of OnlyFans. I mean, it would be kind of nice. I mean, I feel like OnlyFans is not a forever thing, but for me, it's because I want to be a full-time artist. I am enjoying painting, and I have a couple of people who have bought an art from me, and I'm working on a project right now. Other reason why I've been distracted and forgetting about my podcast, yes. I've completely forgotten. I keep forgetting to do my podcast. So for painting, I'm kind of feel like discouraged because like there's some paintings I'm like, oh well, that's fantastic, but it's like the basic painting, and it's not like the amazing detailed work that I have imagined, and it's like, wow, that kind of looks like shit, and people are like, no, that actually looks really good, and I'm like, I don't think so, or it's not working right. But the bright side, at least, it's getting better. Um, so, but I am excited to get a hang of painting in general, so that's exciting. But basically, like, I'm using OnlyFans to kind of help build confidence and to earn some extra money, because like I said, I would love to fully work from home for myself, and just work on art, and I enjoy writing, and also working at a full-time company, working for somebody else, Monday through Thursday and every other weekend. It kind of puts a dent in your day, so then like by the time you get home you're so exhausted and tired, and then you have dogs to take care of. Not complaining about the dog part, but by the time that you sit down, it's already like 9-10 o'clock at night. So then you don't really have much time to actually work on pretty much anything. Other reason why I probably have forgotten about my podcast and even my YouTube channel, because like I've been so into putting all of my time in my OnlyFans and or working on my painting. Um, it would just be nice if something would explode like OnlyFans or YouTube. Um, Mostly OnlyFans. That way I would have more time to focus on artwork where I want to be. Um, so that's like kind of discouraging. That's also kind of goes with like the podcast that I did before on motivation. Um, in a way, how you might ask. Um, Basically, if you really want something, you would, no matter what you do, you would get it done. You would find time to do it. So, but at the same time, I get kind of like discouraged because I do put all this time in making a podcast or into writing or making a video for YouTube, or in my writing and my artwork, but then I also feel like I'm not getting anywhere, if that makes sense. Like I would put so many hours in everything and so much time, so much effort, so much creativity, and I feel like I am getting nowhere. So I'm like, oh. And then just to have like 2 views on something, um, for YouTube or my podcast, you put in all this effort editing, getting the footage and whatnot just to have 2 views. It's like really, or even on OnlyFans. Again, the same thing. You make all this effort just to what? Get 4 fans, 3 fans, and they seem to have lost interest. So it kind of like sucks in a way. Um, or it's like more difficult than it actually has to be. So I'm like, oh, why am I even doing this? And then tomorrow's Monday, so I'm like, oh yeah. So I don't have to go make somebody else money. You know what I mean? I am one of those kind of people where I have no problem with authority, but like when my boss makes $1, or I make a dime while my boss makes $1. You know what I mean? So that kind of like also sucks, but it's also kind of like, oh, well, I should really actually get my ass moving. Um, but the bright side, um, like I had said earlier, I'm actually am selling some art now, which is exciting. Like I said, I am in a process of figuring out the color scheme for this project. And OnlyFans is bringing in money. It's not very much, but tomorrow I'm going to go to the bank, and which is exciting, and open up a new bank account just for my business. Um, what my business is, to be honest, when like talking about it like this way, I have no idea. But basically, it's between my art, selling artwork like paintings, and eventually I do want to make like stickers and buttons. um and not just like paintings, but I enjoy making anything artsy, which is exciting. And I enjoy writing, YouTube, podcasting, um, anything creative is pretty much right. Just working for myself. So that's so I'm like, maybe it would help if I just have a separate bank account, with a completely different bank to kind of, um, that way everything that I make between, OnlyFans to YouTube to writing, to art can just go into one bank account, and then it doesn't get mixed up with my personal money, and it would feel real. Does that make sense? Because everything I would make from all of the above would go right into this business account, or whatever. And then um, then I'm able to actually track it, um, for when the amount of money that is actually physically coming in, the amount of money I'm spending on, for supplies and materials, and then what money's actually left over, if that makes sense. So that's also very exciting. I get to meet with the banker tomorrow afternoon, so hopefully you'll know how that went, in the next podcast. Um, in the last podcast, I had mentioned that my landlord was selling the house. She sold it. She actually got a lot more for the home than the asking price. And the bright side is that I get to stay. I had met with the new homeowner, so my new landlord, um, the day after my birthday, because my birthday was last month. So about 6 weeks ago is when I met them, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we were actually wanting to keep the basement, which I live in a basement of a house. It's like just a one-story house plus basement, kind of like a bungalow. Is that what it's called? Yeah, whatever. And I live in a basement of it. And they're like, well, we would like you, like, we would looking for somebody to rent out the basement. And since you already live here and we were told that you are wanting to stay, um, we are more than happy to keep you." And I'm like, that would be fantastic. So fantastic. So yeah, I've already signed the lease and everything, and they take over July 9th, which is exciting that I don't have to move. Because and they're keeping the rent the same, so which my rent is actually pretty dirt cheap. Um, it's actually not to brag, but in this economy, it's pretty expensive. Like anywhere else I go or look, um, it's actually pretty expensive. For my same apartment is like $600 to $700 more plus utilities, when and most of them don't have laundry. So I mean, I'm actually pretty locked out. That's the correct word. Um, where it's a 1.5 bedroom. Um, no bathtub though, which is kind of is a bummer. Laundry on site included, so it's free laundry. Just no the street parking. And it's a full backyard, and I have two dogs. So, and all the anatomies are very close. Couple grocery stores, banks, and everything. So, I've actually scored out. It's like winning the lottery for an adult. So that's actually really exciting for me. So there's my last 3 months summed up for you. Um, so I'm excited. Um, so so what is it that you do when you are discouraged? Um, to be honest, I'm still kind of working on that. Like I had mentioned, I'm just taking it one day at a time and hoping for the best. Because like I feel like everybody's kind of like feels discouraged in a way. For me, it's because I want to be able to work for myself, but finding out what I want to do. Like I said, I'm going to the bank tomorrow because I would like to open up a separate bank account for my business. But what is my business? You know what I mean? Yes, I have a podcast, a YouTube channel. I write, and I'm a artist. But what is the business? Um, I mean, at least I have like a name for myself. But I mean, it would also be pretty dope if I could have a domain, like a website name, um, and have the full rights to the name. Um, that would actually be pretty fucking dope. Um, so yeah, that's also kind of like exciting for me. So pretty much what to do when you feel discouraged is to, I guess, just take it down. What I've been doing for myself is that, okay, but why do I feel discouraged? Um, well, because I don't feel like I am making going anywhere. So I've taken look at today and then look at where I was 1 year ago, and to see how far I've come. And I've actually have come a long way in 1 year, which is actually makes me feel like a little bit better because 1 year ago nobody was buying my art, and I have sold art to one, two, this is my third or fourth, no, third person, because this person, they're buying a second art piece from me. It's a reoccurring client. They had bought an art piece from me last month, and they have requested a second art piece because they loved the first one. So they ordered a second art piece from me, and this one's actually a bigger project. Um, I think the canvas is like a 24 by 36 project. So that's like really exciting. So this project has like a lot of more detail and stuff in it. Um, so even though I'm kind of discouraged on the project itself, I mean, at least this client has come back from like a second piece. Um, and I'm also like looking at the art that I was doing 1 year ago and how much my art has improved in a year, to which actually makes me feel so much better. So, what to do when you feel discouraged? Well, look at where you were a year ago to now, right? Um, and just to pretty much just keep on working it. Weekly, I just make a small task list of things that I would like to get done. And then just kind of like hope for the best and just one project at a time. Eventually, for you to actually get somewhere, you need to put in the work. Um, because stuff doesn't happen overnight, and if you really want something, you would actually work for it, right? Um, I mean, it kind of sucks that it takes a long time to for it to actually happen. Some people are lucky and it happens overnight. Yeah, 'cause it takes like that one video or that one podcast or that one piece of art that kind of like kickstarts your career. I mean, your career started the day you picked up something, but you know what I mean. Um, so yeah, I just keep working at it. The other um, thing that I had written down is the feeling of being unwanted. Um, I feel like it kind of goes with being discouraged. Um, but the feeling of being unwanted, it's like maybe I'm kind of like optimistic. I hope that's the correct word. But it's the whole, well, why is it that you feel unwanted? Um, have you ever tried to ask the people that make you feel unwanted why? And if you feel unwanted, then for me, it's I kind of know why I feel unwanted. It's because I'm asking the wrong people to be wanted, if that makes sense. Um, I'm slowly learning to be happy with myself. Um, because if you're unhappy with yourself, you attract the wrong kind of people. I'm probably like wording this all incorrectly and giving you like the wrong advice. But um but if you are unhappy or unsatisfied with yourself and you're on a constant um path of negativity, you're going to attract people who are negative and who are bad for you. Um, my friend had actually told me that, my bestie. So I've been working on trying to get rid of all of the negative people in my life, including my ex. Um, there's kind of a friend. I wouldn't really consider her a friend, but she claims that she is my friend, but she is never around. I understand that we're adults, and we're in a pandemic. I'm 28. Like, I completely understand that people have lives. I have a life. You have a life. She has a boyfriend who has two kids. He has two kids. So she helps with all of that. But, like, sometimes it kind of feels like she only messages me if she actually needs something, and the same thing me to her. I really only message her if I need something, which is kind of shitty on both of our ends. But so the feeling of unwanted, it always sucks no matter what, but at the same time, it's the if you feel unwanted, you're not clearly and or obvious, but you are asking the wrong people for being wanted. Um, because being wanted is always a good feeling when you are wanted by somebody, but I am learning to be happy with the company of myself and my two dogs. Just learning and growing with myself, and then trying to fix any um, negativity in myself to kind of grow as a person, as an individual, and not like rely on other people to be wanted or feel wanted, because everybody has a life, and if that person really wanted you in their life, they would make an effort so you would be in their life. Does that make sense? But um that is it for today. If you enjoyed this podcast, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you are new. And please share the podcast with your friends, or don't. It's whatever, right? Until next time, I will talk to you later. Bye.